You're welcome back to Newsfile. This is your most authoritative news analysis show brought to you by Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN, welcome to the new world. Sasso Spray, fresh and powerful. Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985 and celebrating 30 years of solid partnership. Lipton Tea, that's your #1 tea brand. And Yumvita, it is the delicious way to grow. It's always been said that giving is better than receiving. True. That's why Bank of Africa presents to you the season of giving promo. From now till the 31st of January 2016, deposit at least 300 Ghana cedis into your savings or current account to maintain or build up your deposit until end of promo and automatically win a prize. Yes, no draws, everyone wins. Mark that, no draws, everyone wins. Just 300 Ghana cedis into your account and build it up. Win fantastic prizes such as cars, smartphones, and TVs, fridges, etc. Remember, the more you top up, the bigger your prize. Visit any Bank of Africa branch to participate. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group and close as a partner. Do you need a simple, all-in-one prepaid bundle? A simple, all-in-one prepaid bundle for your business. We have a solution just for you. Sign up to MTN SME Plus today. MTN SME Plus today. Simply subscribe by dialing *5060# and choose between the affordable, classic, super, and premium packages. Each bundle comes with talk time, SMS, data to access the internet, and tailor-made business tidbits, either weekly or monthly, just for you. Make that smart business move today. Dial *5060# and take your business to a whole new world, new level with MTN SME Plus. Welcome to the new world of business. MTN everywhere you go. And Star Assurance, like I say, they are 30 years and they call upon you to join them, celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, that's the family that when you insure with, they make you feel as if the perils in this world and the dangers in this world don't exist at all. Log on to starassurance.com or visit any of their offices nationwide. You can call them 030-224-0632 and enjoy solid insurance all round. Sasso Spray kills mosquitoes, cockroaches, houseflies, ants, and other crawling and flying insects. Sasso Mosquito Coil is smokeless. Sasso Spray leaves a sweet lemon fragrance in your room till the next day. Sasso Mosquito Coil and Spray, they are free from catarrh, headaches, and chest infections. Sasso Mosquito Coil and Spray, the best on the market. Thank you very much. And we will take just 2-minute comments each from my guest, and then we'll move on to the NDC and its primaries and the matters arising out of that. Now, Larry Dogbe says that MPPs Kamal Dean and Freddie Blay have said an ex-soldier known to be one of the invincible forces was recognized as one of the attackers, but their names haven't been given out by the NPP. Shall we also know the registration numbers of the vehicles that came to the NPP headquarters? This is the part that is most important to me because it attracted my attention. The registration numbers of the vehicles. When we get that, we nail the individuals. I'm sure that works quite quickly. Shouldn't we find out which NPP man made the SOS call to the police operations room to assist us trace who called him from the NPP headquarters about the presence of the soldiers? Again, isn't it a fact that the invincible forces are made up of ex-soldiers? Colors of cars were seen in the darkness, but reflective vehicles, vehicle number plates were not seen. Who is Captain Koda, and what is his relationship to Nanado, and what is his role in the Invincible Force? An interesting part there. Now, gentlemen, just 2 minutes each to wrap up, and I'm going to hold you to it. 2 minutes. Yes.
Quick. You see, my friend Omaniboma to my left, was it not he who during the Talency election made certain allegations about an intercepted text message and all those things?
People have been sending messages.
He hasn't cleared his
question.
integrity on that line. And yet he wants to come here and pontificate.
He says that matter has actually been handed to the police and they're the ones
you should give us a break. Please. Now, number 2. So Felix to your right. Felix to your right. He goes on and on and on and on and talks about number plates. Is he not aware, as a functional government, that national security has a lot of number plates which they use for operations? The same vehicle, they change number plates. Sometimes even on operations, they don't even use numbers on vehicles. So stop talking about number plates, about the incident. Forget it. I've seen a police car with a WR registration number superimposed on a GP number. And it's all about. Please, I'm coming.
Okay, doing just 2 minutes. So please, let's
these are the hanging they do. Now you see, this government is even doing something which shows at the legal level a lot of tardiness in its reaction to the matter. Such a serious matter as the invasion of the NPP headquarters, it is being prosecuted at the circuit court and being handled by a police prosecutor. I am saying that if the government means business, it should show commitment. It should take this prosecution to the High Court and let an attorney from the Attorney General's office do the prosecution. Jesus. We all know how the police, untrained as some of them are with respect to prosecutions, can bungle cases. And then in the end, these guys will walk because they've been acquitted. And
shall we not make some other claims when it is the Attorney General's department that is directly in the conduct of the prosecution?
But the police prosecutors do the prosecution for and on behalf of the Attorney General. Right. So at the end of the day, whether it's the police or the Attorney General, it is still the Attorney General doing the prosecution. I'm talking about the level of legal competence to do the prosecution, the charges that will be brought. Would they be in line? The evidence that will be led, would they be done by a professional attorney from an attorney or a routine police officer who has done some little training in prosecutions? We've seen it before.
In fact,
let the government show commitment.
There's some suspicion and speculation around how they were rounded up and taken to the police, and then they were taken there and granted bail in the manner they were.
So I'm saying that let the government show commitment. By raising that matter, the NDC case, the better someone stealing case that I wrote you, it was handled at the regional tribunal.
All right, thank you. You're done with your 2 minutes.
But they were hanging me. You also supported in a way. Let me 30 seconds. Let me also explain it. Let these my friends, let them get it clear that election 2016 is not going to be about happenings in the NPP. It is going to be a vote of Ghanaians about whether they like Dumso, about the incompetence of this government, the creeping, growing corruption, the weakening CD, and the arrogance of our elected officials. That is what the election is going to be about.
Some have summarized that to say it is a battle between chaos and incompetence. Which one will you choose?
Let it be
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
That as for what issues Ghanaians base their choice in 2016 on, it lies with the Ghanaian electorate.
Right.
I am not certain that any reasonable Ghanaian who is not an NPP fanatic will get up and go and vote for a party whose leaders have demonstrated such a shocking level of abdication of responsibility. They will go and vote for a party whose headquarters is a staging post for brawls. They will go and vote for a party that cannot manage its own internal affairs. Forget it. Look, let the NPP leadership, led by Nana Akufo-Addo, own up that they have exhibited disastrous leadership, that they have destroyed the party which was bequeathed to them, and let them begin to take steps to pull back from the brink and demonstrate to Ghanaians that they have what it takes to manage first a party and second the affairs of the nation. Nothing else will suffice. They can't get up with simple headquarters management, simple changing of security arrangements at the headquarters. You bungle it so that you require police protection to avert bloodshed, and you want to go to the people of Ghana. I have told you that when it comes to record of performance, we will blow you out of the water on any day that a debate is held. So we are not afraid at all to open ourselves up for criticism. Wishes. They are not wishes, Egbert. They are not wishes. The point I'm saying that the lawlessness in your party is real. 845 megawatts of power would have been added by the end of this year. Why? 4 million Ghana cedis cannot be accounted for on the part of party officials. President Mahama is dealing with corruption head on. Your party's flag bearer sat aloof and allowed land belonging to his ministry to be shared for for party activists. So you are not going to pontificate about corruption.
You are not going to
pontificate about corruption.
He lives about this kind of politics.
I'm saying that Nana Akufo-Addo's politics has not
focus on President Mahama.
Of course, I will focus on everybody.
Focus on President Mahama. You should win your case on the strength of your case, not the weakness of your
case. The strength of our candidate is manifest. The weakness of your candidate is also manifest.
Ghanaians are suffering.
They are not mutually exclusive. But I'm saying that they are not mutually exclusive. So let me do my analysis. In the final analysis, government, it has never been the policy of government.
He's done.
Never will it be the policy of government to go and invade party headquarters.
Okay.
The NPP has given us enough evidence of lawlessness on their part. Thugs invade their party routinely to attack party functionaries. And we don't need anything. So if they are minded to accuse government, at least let them be logical about it.
All right.
Let them respect the people of Ghana and present evidence. Anything short will be dismissed.
Right. Kweku.
Yeah. I'm going to resist the temptation of doing some historical recollections when it comes to the issue of whether people trust the police or not, because I can assure my brother Felix that there's a lot in their bag. They did same. If you recall the Anya explosion. I have the police reports here.
It's a justification.
No,
a firm
it's an exposure of double standards.
He's doing 2 minutes. Please allow him.
It's an exposure of double standards and selective amnesia. That's what it is. But I'm not going there. I don't want to be tempted. Let's focus on the main issue here. See, the weapons. We've asked some few questions already.
Right.
Who called the police, the first line that came for it? Where are the weapons? I'm sure the weapons have serial numbers. Where did they come from? From within or from without the country? Which of the authorities have reported or have seen that any of their weapons are missing? These are very important questions. When we move in that direction, we will find what this whole thing is about. That's why I want to remain focused on this matter. And the military uniforms, the ex-servicemen, that gentleman, he's on bail? Is he one of those on bail?
Yes.
La ilaha illallah. I hope they are talking to him and asking him to identify the ex-servicemen that he procured military uniforms for. It's critical. Because apparently it's them who entered and neutralized the internal security. So we need to follow the trail in that sense. For me, those are basic things to look at. And look, as I've said, I am not going in the direction of incriminating government or military or police. I say rogue elements in state institutions. We've had it before. If you recall the murder of the judges and the ex-military officer, there were denials, or public denials by government. But when it was traced, eventually we saw that rogue elements within government as well as state security, that is in this case the armed forces, were part of it. We have many such examples. Let's keep focused and let's unravel the riddles.
Right.
I think we will get to.
And you asked very important questions indeed. The NPP actually, and I wanted to mention this one, they said, we have come too far as a nation for a return to the dark days of the culture of silence. These times, however, some journalists, by no means all, are paid to abandon their ethics and adopt a culture of silence over the way our country is being incompetently managed, keeping their attention rather on making the opposition unduly unpopular.
There are 3 journalists.
National security personnel. That's a very laughable bit. Let's move on. National security personnel.
What has got to do with
completely needless. But you see, it's a recycle.
Okay.
They all did it twice.
National security personnel. National security personnel. Sorry. National security personnel and others who have made it their industry to invest in the creation of confusion and sponsoring raids and physical attacks. We are saying to them, for goodness sake, please stop. Omane.
My brother.
That one is a distraction.
I think that
it should be removed from there.
I will hand over the phone number of the regional minister of the Upper East to you. The Honorable Regional Minister who received that phone call and the message.
No, but we
So
have
that
the
if you are
statutes of
interested,
investigation.
Don't solve anything.
That is
Please,
why.
we don't need
Let's
it.
put that aside.
We don't need it.
No, the statutes of the investigation is what is important.
My next point.
Not you calling the minister.
My next point.
There's even no nexus.
Those who doubt,
Who said that?
those who doubt that it took place, let me speak.
No,
to
I
you.
don't doubt, but I mean the
So
statutes.
this is my next point.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
My next
it part
point,
of his 2
my
minutes?
next point
Yeah.
has to do with the fact that the MPP should not tempt us into a debate on achievements of the President Mahama administration.
But it will be done.
They will
Whether
fall
they tempt you or
flat.
not.
We relish it.
You borrowed more than any government. You know that.
we've done far more than any other
You borrowed more than any
on
government.
Far more
any day,
than any other government.
It will
any
be
hour,
done because I ain't
any second, we will welcome that debate.
Bring it on.
They will tell us which regions
Please.
they put regional hospitals.
Zilch.
They will tell us.
None.
Okay,
I don't get it.
even in front of their own party headquarters as we speak now,
You've
it's been
sealed the
asphalted.
road.
regional
been
hospitals
asphalted.
came with
But-
carry
but you see,
cash and carry.
Egbert, please.
So, and what's the value of your
I
headquarters
dash you 30
building?
seconds. I dash you 30
Nobody
seconds.
has-
You are
Because
eating
your
it.
time-
your
nobody
time
has
is
been
actually
notified
done.
of the party
No,
headquarters.
that is very
Let's
fair.
take
Sorry, let's
That
get
very
serious
well.
and
We haven't
focus
discussed
on
it.
the-
Okay, hold on.
You
Okay,
can
hold on.
stop this before
Okay,
that.
sorry, gentlemen. Yeah.
Let me flatly, once again, state that the former vice chair, who is now acting chair of the MPP, his statement that government has a slush fund is untrue. And let me state that
You are the one in charge of the slash.
we
fund.
don't-
You, Omar,
we
you are
don't-
the one
It's
in
a
charge.
malicious lie.
we
No,
don't
he is in
practice a
charge.
situation
It's
where
a malicious lie.
toll debt recovery levy
Please.
was being extracted to fund groups like Blue, Rapid Responders, Blow, and all that.
Great.
This is only a product of auditory and
Where's the
visual
evidence?
hallucinations, which will end
Thank
up
you, thank you,
choking
thank you,
Where's your evidence?
thank you,
serious
thank you very much.
investigation
Nana,
Thank you,
I say
political
for
thank you,
parties.
thank you, thank
You
you.
don't know.
How can
Thank you.
something choke your
Now,
ass with
now,
you?
now,
There was no evidence that journalists
see,
were part
see,
of that.
here,
No,
Felix,
there was not.
Felix,
I have the report.
I start with you. The
Okay.
primaries were threw up a very interesting mix. We were here and attempting to do some analysis whilst the whole thing was going on. We were here when party general regional secretaries were calling them for the situations at is it Pram
and other places.
Yes, and it was becoming obvious that the regional party leadership was against Sam George. He won. Now we are told that by the results so far, 15 NDC MPs have been booted out. Some say those who are coming in are younger people, no experience at all, and that is going to be a difficult thing for the NDC.
You see something? There's a lot to be said for experience, no doubt about it. Indeed, the more experienced legislators you have, the better you are at establishing a very decent and formidable parliamentary democracy. But even as we speak about experience and the need to retain same, and let me express my open delight about the retention of Honorable Abambari.
Okay.
I was genuinely worried about reports that he could face some difficulties. So I was very relieved when he won. But you see, ultimately, democracy is a game of accountability. It is the people who elect you who call the shots. So you may be a Methuselah. You may possess all the wisdom and knowledge and experience in the world. But if the people find that you are not acting in ways that are in tandem with their aspirations and hopes, they reserve the right to kick you out. So I don't think that we persons who serve in public office or who have the privilege to serve on behalf of the people should arrogate to ourselves the right to determine for them what they should do.
What some are saying is
It's
that the
about
good
them.
thing you have introduced by expanding the electoral college in the way you have done, actually there's no electoral college. It's a disservice.
Universal adult service.
It's a disservice to the party because you do not have a hold on which experienced MP you want to keep in the house.
No, but something. Experienced MPs who are worthy assault should be able to compete fairly and win. Many experienced MPs won. Honorable Aveji won, despite claims that he had stiff competition. Honorable Bagbin won. Honorable Cletus Avoka won. So many experienced people won. Those who lost perhaps should be doing an introspection and reflection over what may have prompted their constituents.
But
to
even
show
those
them
who
the
won,
essence.
some of them almost lost.
Yes, but what it means is that they need to do more to convince their electorate or constituency that they are the people who ought to be representing them. Nothing short of that, in my view, can hold sway. That said, let me be honest, that when word got round that we were going to use the universal adult suffrage system to elect both our presidential candidates and parliamentary candidates, I had some skepticism about the practicality of the whole system. I had the same concerns that you have expressed, that are we going to be able as a party to, if you like, have a finger on exactly how this pans out, and have we not bitten more than we could chew? But the outcome of the elections and how successful it was clearly vindicates the position of those who pushed or canvassed forcefully that this should be done. You see, by having universal adult suffrage, we eliminate the specter of foisting undesirable or, if you like, unpopular candidates on the electorate. And indeed, as a party, I am sure even the NPP has suffered a similar fate. We have lost electorally because of disputes and disagreements over the suitability or acceptability of parliamentary candidates. Indeed, in the Northern region, we lost 10 seats because of disputes over whether or not the candidates are suitable. So, from the word go, we have resolved that, because you can be certain that all those who have emerged represent the will and choice of a majority of the people residing within the NDC in the constituency. Because democracy really is about majority rule. Again, what we have done is to broaden the horizon of democratic practice. In the past, a handful of party executives band together to elect constituencies. And we all know, let us be frank about this, that we basically operate a patronage system of politics in Ghana. Some people see the period of primaries as a period where they need to extract whatever it is that they perceive they should have gotten from candidates. So by widening the electoral base, you make it virtually impossible for any one candidate to influence in a substantial manner the outcome of the election. So you are likely to get the true sentiments and reflection of the will of the people through the candidates that emerged. Well, in terms of the election itself and its outcome, let me indicate that it was overall successful. I mean, this was a novelty. So it would have been foolhardy on anybody's part to think that there will be no hitches. Right. Even national elections, into which we invest huge sums of money, into which there's a lot of institutional memory and a large organization that undertakes it. We have some of these occurrences, or reports of missing names, reports of breaking down equipment, registers cannot be found, equipment arrived late, and all. In fact,
Johnson Ketia says that it was expected that the scale of the things that we saw, which are the negatives, would have been more than what
exactly.
we saw.
Let me say that they were limited. At least there were about 12, 14 constituencies whose elections had to be postponed. Apart from those that had injunctions placed on them, there were about 12 to 14 which had to be postponed. And they were held on Sunday with little incidents.
Okay, now let's hear the president.
Okay.
After the results were declared, he had a speech to make. Unfortunately, well, he doesn't see it to be in the terms that I cast it. You had over 61,000 persons voting against him, so to speak, voting no for him. That's almost 5% of those who voted, voting no for the president. The president thinks this is not something to make any political capital of negatively. Let's hear him.
This resounding mandate has filled me with a new sense of strength and confidence about our ability to blaze the trail of democratic practice in Ghana. We have once again demonstrated that despite our diversity, we're a peaceful and united force focused on bringing change and transformation to our country. Together we began the transformation of Ghana, and together we'll continue. We have a moral duty to empower all Ghanaians to fight against prejudice, to fight against poverty and inequality, and to use all our creative energies to build a 21st century nation that we all can be proud of. I wish to thank those who voted yes to endorse my candidature. But I also wish to thank those who voted no, either in error or deliberately. Because in the order of nature, it is the interaction of agreement and dissent that creates human progress. You cannot produce energy or electric power with only the positive pole. You need the positive pole and the negative pole to produce energy. Those who voted no have proved to the world that our party has enough space and tolerance to accommodate dissent.
Okay, I take Felix just 1 minute to conclude on this, and then I move on. Yeah.
The president had 95.1%. In absolute terms, that is 1,190,000 votes. That is an exceptionally overwhelming mandate. I have been surprised by, well, perhaps I should not be surprised, that elements within the opposition, other commentators have picked on the 4.9% or 61,000 persons who voted no to mean that there's widespread discontent about the president's performance. Listen, nobody went into this election with the thinking that the president will obtain 100%. This didn't even happen in Iraq under Saddam Hussein. So you can't have a situation where somebody goes into elections and the expectation is that everybody will agree. Like I said, democracy is about majority rule. An overwhelming majority, 95.1%, 1.19 million, think that President Mahama has done a sterling job and he needs to continue.
They refer you to the NPP where even Akufo-Addo had to contest, and yet look at the results.
He got 94.3% out of 140,000. Less than 10% of what President Mahama got in absolute figures. The other point is that the very fact that in spite of the existence of highly qualified individuals within the NDC, nobody showed up who was credible to challenge the president.
Oh, George.
Oh, please.
That gentleman.
Please. Listen, we in the NDC, we maintain standards.
Listen,
we in the NDC,
but he offered himself.
We in the NDC, we maintain standards.
And
we show respect to the people of Ghana. First of all, he did not even...
Marijuana.
He says that, listen, the point I'm making is that as a
the
party...
face of democracy.
No.
Explain further.
Even
Not to do with marijuana.
Even within democracy. Why? Your newspaper. I don't think that you will just select anybody who shows up as wanting to work with you simply because he says he's a journalist. You will scrutinize his credentials and see whether he's a serious
employment is different.
No. The point I'm making is that
don't be asking him more questions, so you continue.
Here's a party going into elections. Somebody shows up making bizarre and bewildering claims. You know right away that there is not somebody who should be getting anywhere near any party's flag bearership slot. So we took steps to curtail that. But you and I know, today if I ask you, Samson, that will name about 5 persons in the NDC who you think could have contested President Mahama. You'll be able to do it without difficulty. But none of them showed up because they knew that it was going to be a waste of time.
Interesting.
President Mahama is the overwhelming choice of the NDC electorate. And that is what transpired.
But the claim now is that this is sheer propaganda, which is actually wicked propaganda. It should not be peddled any further.
That's not correct. You see, we all watched and listened to President Mahama a short while ago. Yes, I mean, you're trying very hard to make something represent something. I remember when in my preteen years, there was a referendum in Ghana, that Champon Unigolf thing. And the famous Nia Mahama Tefio, Mr. No, Okubaku, if you remember.
Sure.
Yes, this is what has come into focus for me. I mean, they were campaigning for a no vote against Unigolf. And in the end, I mean, whatever happened, happened. And once, this percentage of no votes came, I said, no. President Mahama, yes, it was expected that he would win. One would have thought that with the level of cohesion that they claim in the NDC, everyone should have voted for President Mahama. But here we are, about 60,000 or so votes. Yes, who this Mr. No is, we need to know. And of course, there was also this threat from NDC officials before the voting that they will fish out those who vote no and punish them.
Who said
yes?
Bugri Nabu.
Please.
Oh, Bugri Nabu said this.
We are talking NDC.
But Bugri Nabu said
Bugri Nabu, you alleged me have said that. But I'm talking about no votes against President Mahama and the threats from your executive. To the point that your former colleague, Miss Apple. Yes, she said she had to pay to reduce. But of course, you whip them into line. The record stands that this is what she said. We know what took place in all those constituencies where monies were paid to shore up the yes votes of President Mahama. Because the NDC people themselves are complaining about the incompetence, the doomsaw, and all those things. So you can bask in what has happened, but be assured that the final determinants of election 2016 are the good people of Ghana who are really under doom. So this newsfile that we are on right now, you think that all the people who in normal times were supposed to have had electricity in Ghana, you think are watching and listening? We are broadcasting to less than half of the country today because of the incompetence of this government. Now I'm telling you, so if you don't have any shame and you come and just do grandstanding and propaganda and all those things just because you want to do a certain make-believe for people to think that all is well. Check.
What do you make of what is coming up immediately that the vice president should be changed?
Well, you should ask for the NDC. That's how they do their things. So they fly trial balloons in the air. And then the gullible will say, oh, this is the way it is going. We know the sources of those things.
They fears.
Well, maybe the economy is not doing well. It's an admission. If they change the vice president, it's an admission that the economy has collapsed under their watch. Really? I'm daring them. They should change the vice president.
Like your party.
If they do not change the vice president, it means that the economy has done very well under his watch.
Oh. Really?
Two quick things. Sure. If they change the vice president, it is an admission by President Mahama and the leadership of the NDC that the economy has collapsed
according to
under his watch. But if they endorse him, it means that they are appreciative of what he's done with the economy.
Omani, you were in the thick of things in the lead up to the 2012 elections for the president particularly. What does this mean to him? Is it really what he's saying to us in the public, or he sits back and says, but how did this happen? 61,000 plus voting no for me. Why?
Samson, quick one on the vice president issue. Yesterday, I posted on Facebook, and it basically read, "Good morning, fellow Ghanaians. President Mahama's mind is clear on his choice of a running mate for the 2016 general elections. The president is only waiting for the next meeting of Council of Elders of the great NDC party and the National Executive Committee. Thank you."
Is this text message about Talency?
Please.
But that doesn't say exactly who he's interested in. And the party executive held a meeting and called on him to name his vice president.
That's a critical point.
His mind is made up. He's very clear about it. What he's waiting for is a meeting of the appropriate structures for this to be named. Pure and simple.
But was there need for the party to call on him to name his vice president?
I don't know the circumstances that led to that, so I can't really dissect that at this stage.
It was premature ejaculation.
Let me state that as we speak now, President Mahama will be the only presidential candidate going into the 2016 elections with over 1 million people pushing him into the 2016 elections, having voted for him as a result of the process that we adopted. And when we talk about 95.1%, we are talking about 95.1% out of over 1 million people who went and voted. Let's be very clear about it, because I've seen people confusing percentages and all, and even comparing Nanado's 94% with that of President Mahama. Again, the people who voted no, this once again demonstrates the strength of the NDC. The fact that we have people who can freely express themselves, and we do not experience the chaos that others are experiencing in their political party. The leadership qualities of our National Executive, of His Excellency the President, is amply demonstrated in this. Again, in the same elections, the thinking on the feet attitude that was demonstrated by our national executives, when they realized about 12 constituencies were having certain issues, and immediately they said, look, let's halt it, let us postpone these constituencies in terms of their elections to the following day. That was thinking on the feet. That was quality leadership demonstrated by the NDC. I will want to say that, look, as a result of the expansion, we do not experience what we heard and even saw during the MPP primaries. The sharing of all kinds of things. The sharing of all kinds of things.
Wow.
Even including cars that were demonstrated
that was shared
on Facebook.
That was shared.
Yes.
But you see, if you read Kantinka Donkofojo's book, okay, and the fact that this whole thing about vote buying, delegates and all that, where it is coming from under the 1992 Constitution, and I'll just be brief. This is Kantinka Donkofojo, a stalwart of the MPP.
This is a book titled
The Dankwa-Buzia Tradition in the Politics of Ghana, The Origins, Mission, and Achievements of the New Patriotic Party, Kantinka K. Donkofojo.
Okay. You're reading page
224.
Okay.
Briefly. He said that in his usual frank way, Professor Dubois decided to speak against this practice. And this was towards the 1996 elections. On 10th April, with about 10 days to go before the date of the Congress, he expressed disgust. He's quoting him, at attempts by presidential aspirants within the party to resort to bribery to influence the outcome of the party's April 20 contest to pick its presidential candidate, quote and unquote. He did not name any names, but he alleged that certain presidential aspirants, and he's quoting him again, have sought to win the support of some delegates to the Congress with cash inducements of up to 500,000 cedis, about $50 at the time, each, and also providing furniture for both private homes and party offices to influence them, quote and unquote. I don't want to extend it. This was as far back as 1996, under the Fourth Republican Democratic Dispensation. This is the record. Fast forwarding into the primaries that they had, we saw the inducements, the cars that were flying on social media and all those in terms of the pictures. So please, talk to your correspondents in the regions. The reports that they filed, how many of them did you even hear about people sharing money and all? Please. I'm saying that the MPP cannot play this game and succeed. Last but not least, the NDC is going into the 2016 elections running on a solid rock of achievements in the health sector, Rage Hospital expansion project, Tamale Teaching Hospital Phase 2 expansion project, Police Hospital expansion project, Upper West Regional Hospital ongoing, Military Hospital in Kumasi, water sector. If you are in Accra, you live around Adenta,
Ashali, solid.
We will get
and all the rest of them.
We will get there.
Are you running on corruption as well?
Solid rock of achievement. Roads. Kwame Nkrumah interchange, Eastern Corridor, Fofoso Solar, and all that. We are saying that the MPP has a lot to learn from the NDC.
You have collapsed the NHIS.
The unity, it is not true. False.
You have collapsed the NHIS.
We paid over 1 billion Ghana cedis in 2014 alone,
collapsed.
as compared to 7 million cedis paid in 2005.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you. MPP
thank you. Thank you. We are supposed to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes, and some of your messages, sorry, I seem to have omitted a lot of messages that you sent through and that have been brought to my attention. Let me just read a few of them. This one is coming from Osebonso Ato.
Let me show you.
In Oboko, he says, many big wigs falling out means the grassroots people are in support of the winning candidate, and that will ensure a massive win come 2016 in both parliamentary and presidential election. This one from Haruna Kone. Haruna Kone says, democracy is a game of accountability, service, and commitment to the people of Ghana. Expansion of the NDC Electoral College is a sign of accountability and connection of grassroots politics, giving power to the branches. The NDC has no regret for such an introduction, and we are proud of it. Then, from Atiapa in Tamale, he says that the Eastern Regional Chairman of the NDC says they will fish out those who voted no against the president and punish them. This was prior to the primaries when he was addressing a group of people. Then from King Farouk in Kaswa, sorry, let me just finish this one. From King Farouk in Kaswa, he says 95.1% is an overwhelming majority for people, for the president. What would have been the president's mark if it were in an exam? It would have been excellent, no doubt. He is on top and would win next year's elections by 57%, inshallah. King Farouk sent in that one, and these are the earlier ones that my production is bringing to my attention. You sent by your phone text messages, so we don't want you to waste your money. This one says, can the raid at the NPP office be compared to Watergate scandal? I'll be looking forward to a deep throat. This one, Kweku Safo in Sakumano, says, Samson, did I hear the president say that every society needs some dissent to progress, and that we need both positive and negative forces to interact to make headway in any endeavor? For crying out loud, did he and the NDC know this when they prevented George Boateng from contesting the presidency at the primaries? And was he aware of this when he went lambasting Dr. Baumia when he criticized his government and being incompetent? What is the president's conviction? I am confused. And some also ask the question, so if the president knew about this, why did he spend all the time going around the entire country trying to get whip up people to vote?
On record, he didn't go around the entire country.
Well, my substantive question to his tour rather is what funds were used? Was it state funds? No. I suspect so.
State funds.
I suspect state funds.
What funds did Nanado use?
No, I'm not talking about past. I'm not talking about past governments and what they did, which was wrong.
No,
It's Nanado in government.
No.
Okay.
So you are suggesting.
You can't
No, you
sleep
see,
without
sometimes the
seeing
arguments
Nanado.
are shocking.
Okay.
You cannot tell
but
that suddenly the NDC has lost the capacity to mobilize resources for the president to go. It's a ridiculous argument.
Was he not going with state protocol
No,
and
but he
everything
remains
else?
president all the time.
All
So
right,
you cannot
thank
say that you
Thank
divorce his presidency.
We'll raise that argument on another platform. This one says, I'm surprised in all these accusations by MPP and denied by NDC. No mention of CCTV has been made. In this day and age, okay, so he sent in very late. In this day and age, no CCTV at the biggest opposition headquarters. This is from KK.
Even the MMDs.
When did the Eagle Party saga happen? So many years back, I think that we have gone past that era. Ghana has practiced democracy for over 10 years. This is below the belt, Egbert. Then Chumbuafo, you know him. He says there are two CPP people sitting on a radio panel vigorously defending the cause of the CPP/MPP party chairman. This should account for the state of both the CPP and the NPP. Okay.
Please let Chumbuafo get it clear.
So now
I'm not a member of the CPP.
You are a member of the NPP. He's a card-holding member of the NPP.
I've never been a member
right.
of the CPP.
Okay.
But
He's a card-holding member of the NPP.
Bring a card.
That's not in doubt.
Confess on you.
Okay.
Rights and
Okay.
obligations.
But Egbert, I heard you say you were a supporter of the CPP before.
Please.
So you renounced it.
Thank you. Let's move on.
I am telling you for a fact that
You are a member of the NPP, and that's
I'm a
it.
member of the NPP.
That is
Correct.
settled.
Thank you. Now, before Kweku comes in, let's hear E.T. Mensah on this constituency that became very critical in the elections. Ningo Pram. Let's hear E.T. Mensah, who was defeated.
Listen to me. I was going from my mother's house to my house, and then there was a pickup loaded with people with red bands. We are aware those are the people who were mobilized by Sam George last night to the Electoral Commission's office. When the registers were brought, I decided not to go out at all. They called us to come there. I sent a rep because that boy is a pathological liar. I didn't want to be anywhere with him for him to go and lie.
Sam George has alleged that, the register is bloated. With how events have unfolded so far, it's led to an eventual postponement of the polls to tomorrow. Your views on all this?
I have read from the newspapers from 3-4 days ago. He alleged that Mr. Adekoka and I went and stole some votes from Ayuyam and bloated the register. Since this thing started, I've been on the campaign trail. Mr. Adekoka sits in his office and he says to his management of the region, we have never had any meeting anywhere. He knows what he's saying is not true. It is a lie. He knows it. Sam George, you don't know Sam George, eh? Sam George, the way he was described to me by late Aliu Bahama, I wish the man was still around. I would have sent him a ram. He told me, hey, you have let a certain boy called Samuel George into your house. The boy is treacherous. That boy is a liar, a pathological one as such. I'm telling you. So I've run elections and all the time I had opponents. I never organized anybody. What would I benefit from it? He should produce 1 or 2 people who claim that I, E.T. Benson.
Okay, so the sound I was actually looking for was E.T. Mensah making allegations of something, smacking of rigging that Sam George was engaged in. We didn't get that exactly, really. But the thing is that after he lost, he's been complaining a lot. But you heard those things before, how Sam George is a treacherous guy and everything else. He was so sure that he was going to beat the guy, and the guy will regret for getting into the context. Koku, unfortunately, Sam George beat him by over 1,000 votes, is it?
Yes. But first one, tell my friend and brother Chumbuafo that I didn't hear his. I didn't hear his.
Don't worry.
Well, you can exercise.
How did this particular one come to you? The Ningo Pram
A shock. It is somebody I've known for years. We go back to the 70s in all the agitation against military dictatorship and the rest. He's a very good friend of mine. And though we've had problems before, he dragged me to court when I was the editor for Guide.
You and your friends.
Yes. But he really didn't kill the chemistry of our friendship. And he's an experienced politician now and legislator. I have always asked for the balance. Of course, I agree with Felix that that balance is subject to competitive drills unless the party finds a way of going about it. So I was really shocked, especially by the margin. But I think things that happened the Saturday, which led to the postponement, and then what happened early Sunday morning, put together, didn't go in his favor. There was a certain galvanization of the masses of Ningo Pram, especially Ningo area, that went against him. I hope he's taking it well. Washe, I wish you well. I wish him well. But the young man has won. Things done by some of the executives too. I think it was last Saturday on this very program.
Right.
Yes, my own nephew, and I mean it, he's my nephew, Ade. You know that?
Okay.
Yes, it's my nephew.
Okay.
From maternal side. Very close. Some of the things he did, I think, worked against Yiti and in favor, paradoxically, of Sam George. So Yiti should just take it on board and, join the campaign and help the young man, train him and all that.
Sam George couldn't find his name initially, but later we are told he found it.
Yeah.
Senator Rawlings couldn't find her name. And as we speak, we understand that there have been official complaints about the process by Nim Ama Ashite. He took a complaint to the chairman, Adekoka, And they've written back to him to say that particularly the aspect about the non-appearance of Senator Rawlings' name in the register has nothing whatsoever to do with him, so he should shut up about that one. But I was saying that, what do you think these things are going to do going forward? Because I'm aware some lawyers have written to the EC and they wrote a search dated the 24th of November 2015 to the chairman of the Electoral Commission, and they said, search Dr. Senator Rawlings. Please cause a search to be conducted in the Electoral Register and endorse your findings thereto. Number one, whether or not Dr. Senator Rawlings is a registered voter within the meaning of Article 94(1) of 94(1)A of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And we might be minded that this is also a prerequisite for even those who are vetted at the primaries level. And then, if so, when was her name entered on the electoral register? And finally, please furnish us with a certified true copy of the voters' register. And they, yes, for that they suggest that the EC is playing games. And
just before people come in, just to buttress what they're saying, if you look at Article 94(1)A of the Constitution, it says, subject to the provisions of this article, a person shall not be qualified to be a member of parliament unless A, he is a citizen of Ghana, has attained the age of 21 years, and is a registered voter.
Right.
So we are not
but hold on.
Hold on. Not a member of parliament.
Hold on.
You shall not be qualified.
It's a journey.
She's not even a parliamentary candidate yet.
It's a journey. I mean,
she's not. She gets to be that when they go through the processes and go to the EC.
Yeah, but the suggestion is that she couldn't find her name in the NDC's register
all that may
because
be
her name is not on the major register.
I'm not disputing
and
that
the EC is not going to open up registration.
I was
again.
coming to ask that question. That are we suggesting? Are we suggesting
limited registration?
Are we
Has been done already?
There will be.
No, are we suggesting? That's what I was going to find out. That
no
is that not going to happen?
registration?
Because if that's going to happen, then this is not a fatal
exactly.
relative to a parliamentary ambition. That was all.
Okay.
So perhaps some people are jumping the gun. They just have to take their time.
Do you also think that the latest thing about the custody issue with Herbert Mensah will affect her?
I don't discuss
That's private.
It's in the media. It's in the media. The man himself put it out in the media.
He's asked a good question, but I decline comment on such matters.
Okay.
That's it. But not that it is not right for others to discuss it. It's out there.
Okay.
After all, it's gone to court. Court is a public forum.
Right.
But I don't discuss such things.
Okay. So briefly on the president's
I think that
almost 5% no. And what happened?
The expansion of the base, the universal adults, is fantastic. Nobody can deny that.
Right.
The MPP did theirs. Everybody supported it and thought was good.
Right.
They've gone beyond that. And if they've gone beyond that, why shouldn't we think it's a positive development? It is. I was only intrigued by the fact that when it comes to the parliamentary candidates or aspirants, when they stand unopposed, they go without contest. But the presidential aspirant or flag bearer, there's a contest.
It's the Constitution.
Yeah, it's their constitution.
Yeah,
That's what I find intriguing. Maybe they have to do a consistent.
In the MPP, there ought to be an affirmation.
Yes, because look, voting, even affirmation, is a form of voting.
Right.
Once it's done at the Congress, it's a form of voting.
We have a history.
They may. I agree. I'm only saying I found that intriguing,
Okay.
and that perhaps there is a need for a certain consistency. It's their own party, what they want to do.
The 5% no, that's a bad PR for the president.
You see, because it's members, the party has to do some introspection to find out. But otherwise, don't compare the two, 95.1 and 5%. It's a huge difference. You don't compare the two in terms of the mathematics. But because the focus is members, for 60,000 or plus members to say no when his president was standing alone, unopposed, the party has to do a certain interrogation.
But you agree with the president that some of them could have done that inadvertently by mistake,
but the president,
voted no.
Yeah, but some of them, I heard the president, if I'm wrong, correct me quickly, asking for 100%.
Yes.
During the campaign.
Right.
Did I hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
That is aspirational.
Yes, but it's still okay. And then those who stayed away, there was a huge number. We're talking members. We're not talking floating voters. Well, Mani doesn't agree with me, but I say all these things in the sense that the party will have to interrogate them and look at that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it has actually distorted the process. The process was positive.
All right, sorry. We take a break here. And when we return, we are looking at the new twist to the judgment that matters. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Very critical.